right. All right. All right. Welcome to the Liquidity Event. We're your hosts, Shane.
And I'm AJ.
Wow. That sounded so rich. I got to talk into the mic. And this is episode 11 of the Liquidity Event. Today is October 6th. This is coming out on October 11th, 2021.
October 11th. That's my birthday, too. What movie is that from?
Zoolander?
No.
Harry Potter?
Nope. The Parent Trap with Lindsay Lohan.
You did the Zoolander voice. You sounded just like Ben Stiller. Do it again.
October 11th. That's my birthday, too. I could have been any of those movies. That also could have been
School for Ants. Yeah. All right. Okay. Cool. We got some great articles today. We've got some in the fintech space. We've got Ladder, the insurance fintech startup, raising $100 million on a $900 million valuation. I think it's a Series A. Dig into that. We've got some fat bears. I'm excited to talk about.
Speaking of fat bears, we got some accounting news as well.
What?
Speaking of fat bears, we've got some accounting news.
You should have did something about bear markets. That's the segue.
Oh, yeah.
Come on. Elijah Woods says that Harvey Weinstein was in Lord of the Rings. We got some articles with some meat on the bones around the Biden.
I think we should just stop there. What are you drinking this week?
I'm drinking another sour from Grimm. It's not my favorite actually, but I still love the guys. Telekinesis.
What's telekinesis again?
You should come over here soon, one of these podcasts, and we're going to drink some Grimm and do the PCast. What is telekinesis?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, I forgot what it meant.
It's the girl and Carrie. It's Carrie. What Carrie does to Oliver at prom.
Yeah,
it's all of her.
Is it mind
It
reading?
is spooky season. No, it's moving things with your mind.
Right. Yeah, got it.
Kinetic energy. Yeah.
Yeah, I took Greek and Latin etymology
Here we
in
go.
college and forgot everything. So there you go. That's what you get for $65,000 a year liberal arts education. Thank you, Skidmore College.
You just watch horror movies and answered all the trivia questions. What are you drinking? What is that?
It's Pipeño. Yeah, this is a lovely grape. This is a Chilean wine. Yeah, super really for those watching on video. Love this bottle. This is our house red at the Ayers household. Super affordable. It's like 22 bones for a slightly bigger. It's a liter bottle. It's really it's natural, but it's not so natural that it scares away your regular Barolo lovers. It's a lovely wine.
Do they sell natural wine in boxes yet? I'll get on the train when they start putting in.
Yeah, Eric Wareheim, that actor. He's like really into food and natural wine. Of course. So he's got a natural wine label called Las Yaras, and he does cans of natural wine. Not boxes yet, but cans.
Canned natural wine.
Yeah.
What's his nickname in Master of None? Big Daddy? Big Boy? Big Brother?
I don't remember. I just remember his like amazing. His style on that show was so good. Just like like slouchy lounge, but like mostly cream colored and white. Speaking of slouchy lounge,
great character.
I'm wearing my pajamas on the podcast. That's all.
I wore a collared shirt today, and you wore pajamas.
I'm wearing a collared shirt.
Turn. You're wearing collared pajamas.
They have monkeys on them and my initials.
I'm gonna cut my sleeves off of this, and we'll be even.
All right.
So what are you doing for fun, AJ?
Well, you have to go first, as mine is related to yours.
Derivative of me yet again. I'm picking out.
Never invest in derivatives.
It's a financial joke. I'm picking out Halloween costumes. I've narrowed it down. I might go multiple this year. I'm always Dr. Shots for Halloween the past 4 years running. There's a Dr. Shots costume hanging in my closet. My girlfriend's making fun of me because I don't hang up or take care of my clothes at all, but there is a
pristine
doctor's
Dr.
uniform.
Shots.
Pristine, crisp, starched Dr. Shots $40 Amazon costume hanging up in the closet. It might be detective basis since we're always sleuthing around trying to find our clients' tax basis. No one but you will get that joke. And the tax heads listening to this. Couples costumes looking to be James from Team Rocket to the girlfriend's Jessie. And girlfriend is also trying to make a VMA's karaoke session happen, and she wants me to dress up as Kurt Cobain because of course
you got blonde hair. Yep.
Right.
Cool. Well, so mine's related in that my Halloween costume idea is Mr. Spock, but Mr. Spack So like the wig, the ears. I'll throw a callback to my 2019 Halloween costume, which was not Boba Fett, but Boba ETF. That was a good one. Might throw a link to that one in the show notes.
Yeah, and it was not low budget either. It was very well put together.
It was definitely low budget. It was a $19 Amazon costume. It just happened to fit me perfectly. Yes.
Oh, it looked great.
It was a $19 kids Amazon costume that I took a Sharpie to and wrote all the ETF tickers all over.
It looked like cosplay, serious Comic-Con level. It was $20. Okay.
It was $20.
Dr. Shots cost $40.
Maybe it was $30. I remember being like, oh, why not?
Yeah.
What's the worst that could happen?
Maybe I should bring back the death tax this year.
That's always a classic.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into. Oh, sorry. You segue us. You segue us into the next section.
For the listeners that don't know, the very first time that I saw the word Segway written down, I thought Segway was spelled Segway, and I'm on a call with AJ and it's written down Segue, the actual spelling. I was like, all right, first order of business, we're gonna seek through this. She's like, what? Like, oh no, my alarms are going off.
Oh no. It's okay to mispronounce things. It's not okay to mispronounce people's names. You should always ask how to pronounce someone's name. But I generally think it's okay to mispronounce things.
Regular ass words.
Yeah.
Okay.
Regular ass words.
All right, why don't you take us through IPO land here?
All right, IPO land. No companies going public this week that I've heard of, but I am noticing a pretty serious trend in the multitude of IPOs that are going public this week. We got Aeon Biopharma, we've got Singulate, we've got Cognition Therapeutics, we've got iFit Health and Fitness, we've got Theseus Pharmaceuticals. So we have a lot of biotech companies going public this week, right? I don't really have anything intelligent to say about that other than of the 9 companies listed here that are going public this week, 5 of them are biotech. One is a kind of exciting company that is going to deliver. It's like a drug delivery technology. So like rapid release, the way like when Advil like liquid gels came out, like that was like a hugely revolutionary way to deliver pain reducing kind of things. This seems like the next generation of that. That's that company called Singulate Therapeutics. So we'll be watching them as they make their public debut this week on the Liquidity Event.
We don't have a lot of biotech clients, do we?
Not a ton. No.
Specific type of, it's mostly SaaS.
Come at me, bro. Come at me, biotech. I love biotech. I'm a walk-in biotech.
You're a walking That's true. You are biotech. You're a cyborg.
I am biotech. I'm a cyborg. I don't think we've talked about this on this show.
What's the company? No, we haven't. What's the company that makes your cyborg heart?
Biotronics.
Are they? Wow. I couldn't make up a more cyborgian.
Yep.
Make up a cyborg manufacturer. Biotronics.
Yep.
3000.
Oh no, Biotronic. Yeah, not Ix.
Love it.
Biotronic. Yeah.
It's like they're trying to intentionally not market themselves.
Right. It's like, what could you possibly be? Yeah, I have a pacemaker and defibrillator implanted right here in my chest. It's about this big, and you can feel it right here. It's pretty crazy. That was a fun start to 2021.
Where are you pointing at when you say you can feel it right here?
Oh yeah, for those listening and not watching, it's right below my collarbone. It's having like a half of an iPhone inserted in your chest right below your collarbone.
And it's in there for
forever. Oh yeah.
Forever.
I'm protected from death though, so I can't die from cardiac arrest. If I go into cardiac arrest, I'll get shocked. So don't ever scare me.
Did I almost kill you?
You did almost kill me once. But you can't. I'm a vampire. The only way to kill me is to cut off my head. I can't die from a heart attack.
There can only be one. Good Lord.
Anyways.
You want to tell the audience why you have a pacemaker, or?
Sure. Yeah, I have a genetic heart condition called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. That was a fun discovery, late in your 20s to discover a nasty genetic heart condition. Someone in my family unfortunately passed away from it, and been dealing with that for the past couple years while we built Brooklyn FI. And you've been very supportive throughout all this, so thank you for that, Shane.
You got it. You inspire me every day.
Shut up with your affirmation.
You make me a stronger person. I'm honestly incredibly impressed by you and just overwhelmed by the opportunity to work next to you. Every day is something new and exciting.
I wish that was genuine.
Moving on, we've got some topics
Anyways, tell me
here
about
in
the fat
general
bears.
financial. Moving on to fat bears. Speaking of fat bears. Oh no. Yeah, let's go on a lighter note. We've got some meat on the bones and some of these other topics, but I was doing our typical roll through the journal and whatnot. This is in the Times. It was Fat Bear Week in like some national park in Alaska, and they just crowdsourced. They just have all these videos of these fat bears beefing up for the wintertime up in Alaska, and then they let the audience vote on their favorite fat bear. And Otis 480 is the scientific name for this fella, won his 4th year in a row.
Oh my God.
He's a big boy.
How old is Otis? Like, how long do bears live?
Yeah, Otis is 25.
Oh, wow. So he's like, what are bear years as compared to
He's
human
old
years?
enough to work at Brooklyn FI. So we'll be extending a personal invitation on LinkedIn to the big boy. The portly patriarch of Paunch persevered to pulverize the Baron of Berdonkadonk in the final match of Fat Bear Week 2021. 480 Otis can now boast a bevy of bests with his 4th first place finish. As we celebrate like a true champ, 480 is still chowing down. And there's a photo of him just smashing some salmon.
I mean, I'm no...
Good for him.
Also, that writer deserves a Pulitzer for that. Come on.
That was a tweet by the national park. Yeah.
Oh. Anyone's
Even
looking for
better.
a social media coordinator. Sounds like the person at the running the national
Somebody
park.
is wasting their talents up in Alaska on Fat Bear Week. All right, moving on. We want to talk about how hard it is to find a therapist. I'll take this article. Yeah,
yeah.
This is an article from the Journal. I'm just going to take the low-hanging fruit. Maybe you can fill it in here. But there's this article, why is it so hard to find a therapist who takes insurance? And I didn't really know about that because I've only gone maybe 4 or 5 times. And insurance is a hassle. It's obviously a hassle. I've got insurance for the first time in a long time as an entrepreneur recently. And I'm going through, I'm getting all my checkups done. And then everything gets lost in the mail. I mean, when you got your implant, it was like a $600,000 scare before insurance stepped in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So the gist of the article is that why can't you find someone that takes insurance? It's a pain in the ass. And in New York and California, I mean, let me summarize it for you. It's a pain in the ass for the therapist to take insurance. And because so many people in New York and LA are willing to just pay out of pocket to see a therapist, why, if you had the choice, it's just a financial decision for these therapists to just not take insurance.
Yeah. I mean, ask a friend who's a therapist and ask a friend who's a therapist for a recommendation, and they'll say, do you need to go through insurance? And like that is the first determinant between like who do they recommend you to, because most good therapists, there's someone in New York with money or there's someone in LA with money that will pay them $300, $400 an hour. So why would they even bother with reimbursements to get their $100 from the insurance company? Like, why even do that?
And supposedly the
fair.
insurance, the article says that the insurance companies don't even pay as much as they expect. My takeaway here is good on whoever is taking insurance and servicing the people that truly can't afford to pay out of pocket and have to lean on their insurance, doing the Lord's work there, especially during COVID where mental health is at an all-time low, according to a lot of studies. You have an article here about how this is very hyper niche to our New York City listeners. The BPL, Brooklyn Public Library, is now fine-free. It sounds very... very communist. I'm not sure. Are you a capitalist, AJ, or are you fine free?
Here's my problem. I was like, oh, this is great that the BPL is no longer Brooklyn Public Library, for those who are not familiar. By the way, I know
we have 16 minutes left on the clock if you want to use the rest of the...
Oh, yeah. I would love to talk about the Brook Libraries, man. Greatest startup ever, right? What a great idea. I've got some books. I'm going to charge you I'm going to get them out to you for free, but if you're late, I'm going to charge you a fine. It's genius. Anyway, if library fines go away, what is your incentive to return your book?
Your credit score, or they put it on your credit score? No, I don't know. What is it?
No, there's no incentive. So how is this going to work is my question. I'm sure they thought about this. I think they're relying on goodwill. Maybe library attendance is down. I love the library. I'm in a comfortable financial place where I can go support independent bookstores or whatever, but I get books from the library. I actually use this isn't just specifically Brooklyn, but like most libraries in cities have like awesome subscriptions to things like lynda.com. So if you like want to learn how to use Excel for free and you have a library card, you can have like access to all these free videos. Masterclass, I think, has like free access through certain libraries. Like, I love libraries.
It's the most socialist thing we do in America. I love the tweets that are like, can you imagine if someone proposed libraries like in 2021, like what the
Well, there was
Republicans would think?
there was that there was a startup called, I think it was it Oyster, and
Yeah, I remember you roasting this
the
one.
tweet was like Oyster. So this startup has invented the library.
Yeah, I forget the details on Oyster.
Yeah.
We'll have to dunk on them next episode. Bring that back up. You've got an article here from the LA Times about how it's an opinion piece, how credit card companies reward the rich and punish the rest of us. What do you got
this
here?
is actually an old piece. This is from 2019. I forget how I discovered it. I was reading something else and it was linked. But the thesis here, which is, I don't think we definitely think about it as business owners. I'm sure other business owners listening definitely think about this. Like, we talk on the show about our, fancy Amex rewards cards, and I love my Delta Lounge and haha, my free status and all that stuff. But what we don't talk about is the fact that Amex charges, those merchants, whether it's, Brooklyn FI taking credit card fees or it's, the CVS down the corner, like 3 to 5%. So this article is basically saying, cool, you get your rewards because you get to use your credit cards, but all these merchants are marking up their prices 3 to 5%. So guess who loses? The poor, who have to rely on debit cards and cash. So they're getting hit basically with like a 3 to 5% fee increase. So you and I, the rich assholes, can get our, free trip to Paris once every 2 years or something like that. So
it's my fault. So this is
definitely
my fault.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely your fault.
Gonna internalize that one as well.
Enjoy that trip to Paris though.
Yeah. So
yeah, it's like, the rewards are great, but credit card companies, not so good. Not so good.
You want to use this moment to talk about how Amex rewards recipients are going to see LCD sound system?
Speaking of roasting Amex, I don't know.
God. I literally was going to go to this concert based on this. This ad is specifically for me.
Yeah, so LCD Sound System, who broke up and said it was their last show like 7 years ago. This was a cool band in college. If you still like LCD Sound System, you need to reevaluate your situation in life. And if you're an Amex Platinum card holder, you can go see LCD Sound System at Brooklyn Steel in December. Are you going?
No, I'm not. I won't be here.
Okay.
But everyone listening is allowed to listen to LCD Sound System. You're allowed to like LCD Sound System. The only band that AJ likes is fucking Led Zeppelin. It's the safest place to live in terms of music criticism.
And Joy Division.
Okay.
Nobody else.
All right. In the fintech space, we've got Ladder, a company we were watching pretty closely as a company that we would use as a potential vendor at Brooklyn FI whenever we refer life insurance to folks. They've just recently raised $100 million on a $900 million valuation. You want to talk about what Ladder is, what they do? You want to even...
Yeah, Ladder they do term life insurance. So, if you've got
unsexy
kids...
topic in general.
Yeah, insurance, totally unsexy. Pretty annoying to get a life insurance policy in place, right? You got to go through a health exam. Someone comes to your house, takes your blood, can be expensive. Ladder is trying to disrupt the space, make it easy, fill out an application. I think they're actually, in some cases, able to not do the medical exam. You roasted me last time for trying to explain insurance, but insurance works on, it's like laws of large numbers. So the more people they have insured that are healthy and are not dying, in the next 20 or 30 years, depending on the term of the life insurance policy, that's their business model, is get a lot of young, healthy people insured for not a lot of money. So I'm here for it. I'm curious to see where they go. I put this in here because I remember we went to a conference and got free picnic blankets with Ladder
I still have
logos.
it. Yeah, I still use it in Cooper Park. Yeah, I think the innovation here is that the policy, the premiums ladder down as you get older. They get cheaper because there's like a less likelihood that you're going to die, or they ladder up. I forget what it is as you get older and are more likely to die. Yeah, it's flexible.
You're taking it too literally.
No, that's literally what it's not that big. I'm saying it's not that creative. They raised a $100 million valuation. There's a lot of fintech insurance disruptors come through the pipeline. Lighter note here in celebrities and billionaires, we've got the Fat Bear Week was already in here. We already touched on that. You want to talk about Britney?
Yeah, Britney was freed. That's all.
Is she totally free, or is the dad is just out of the picture and someone else is the conservator?
I don't know the details, honestly. I'm not qualified to speak on this. There's better internet out there for your free Britney details. Yeah.
All right. Well, for those of us that are just like a little tangential Britney update, there you go. What a great headline from the Journal about the modern day mafia here. Lousy management, knucklehead hires, plague operations of the real life Sopranos. So one of the heads of one of the New York
I think
mafia...
you messed up the intonation on that headline.
Oh, I did?
Try it again. Let's try it again. Lousy management, knucklehead hires, plague operations of real life Sopranos.
Is that not what I said?
I don't know. I was lost.
Audience, send in your opinion on my intonation,
who said
please.
It better?
Who said it better? Email us at liquidityevent@brooklynfi.com. Anyway, so it's just the head of, it's like what the Journal does here is this 87-year-old mob boss of one of the big five crime families in New York got arrested for not establishing a succession plan for the business and still having his hands involved at 87 years old in all the operations of the business. You got to delegate, big guy. You got to step away. It's classic. You got to
scale up. Yeah.
And they compare it to Tony Soprano trying to figure out who was going to take over, Chrissy or Sal. Shout out to the Saints of Newark, just coming out this week. Many Saints of Newark. Speaking of nasty Italians, Elijah Wood here says the Lord of the Rings orc in the actual Lord of the Rings.
Can you believe we made it 10 episodes without talking about Lord of the Rings?
I thought we talked about it every episode. It's I feel like this is what Star Wars was for like 30 years. It's like there's an article every week that I'm reading about Lord of the Rings. Anyway, the orcs are very ugly. They're very nasty. They got disfigured faces. They're generally evil. Apparently one of the orcs in Lord of the Rings was based on Harvey Weinstein, one of the appearances.
Yeah.
And you might say, why? That was in 2001. That was well before this. Well, Peter Jackson shopped Lord of the Rings trilogy to Miramax back in 2001. There's a really cool hour-long interview with him about it that I watched at 1 a.m. one time. And they tried to make it into he tried to do it in one movie.
It was one, right?
All three.
And Peter Jackson was like, do not... you shall not pass. You shall not make this movie in one. I need 3. I need at least 3. And they need to be 3 hours long.
Yeah, I think they got even pushed to 2. And then finally on a last ditch effort, New Line Cinema picked it up in 3 movies. Thank God. And they designed one of the orcs to look like Harvey back then because he was being a dick about the movie length. And Elijah can now talk about it now that Harvey's in prison.
Harvey no longer holds the purse strings.
Ooh, yuck. All right. So what else do we have here? We got 2 articles on taxes. We've got both from the Times. Look at the Times doing their thing.
Doing their journalistic thing. Good for you, New York Times.
How accounting giants craft favorable tax rules from inside government. I especially love this one, not only because it's about accountants, but it's about bad accountants. It's about nasty little greedy accountants.
Nasty hobbitses and accountants.
Everything that they can do to shape and craft and mold the policies in this country in favor of their clients. Who do you think can pay for big 4 accounting firms, JDs, and lawyers that work there that go through the revolving door of working at Pricewaterhouse, Deloitte, EY, KPMG? They work there for 5-6 years. They go work at the Treasury Department for 6-7 years, and they come right back out and make partner, and they know everyone at the Treasury Department. So when we're writing tax deductions and tax code into the law, let me just call it my old boy. Let me call it one of them old boys and see what I can get going for these real estate developers that I've got on my roster here. Yep. And then I can brag about it when they come into the
right. I mean, who can afford it? The answer is real estate developers, right?
Oh, I lost track of my own question.
Yeah.
Yes, that was rhetorical.
Let me answer it for you. I have the thread. Shane, I have the thread.
Thank you.
Look over here.
Thank you. I need that.
No, yeah. I mean, it's fucked up, man. It's all, yeah. It's like, it's beyond, like, these are not positions that you can vote. This is lobbying, right? This is not go out and vote and elect the politician that's going to, protect you and your family with favorable tax policy. This is always going to happen as long as the tax code is complicated and requires accountants like us to navigate it for clients. And that sucks.
Yeah, and it's not just administrate. We all know Intuit's nasty, right? They lobby to the government to keep administration of the tax code complex, and complexity is is a tax essentially on the poor because they can't afford advisors. Also, this is policy, so it's policy and administration that's complicated. What do I qualify for in terms of deductions and credits, and then how do I apply for them? It's double-edged.
So you began this episode by saying something very nice to me. It may have been genuine or not. So I'm going to say something very nice to you. And the first time we ever met, which was on a podcast, I remember like interviewing you, and you were like this like cool hipster accountant. I was like, who is this guy? And I remember I was like, I can't remember what question I asked you, but you were basically like, I don't want to be an accountant. Like, please take my job. Like, why is this so complicated? And like, I think that's like, that's rare. Like our position on like accounting and tax code. Yes, of course, we are great accountants and we deal with very highly complex multi-year exercise and sell plans for equity compensation. But at the end of the day, why is it so complicated? Like if all accountants were just like, hey, we could do other things. Like there are better ways that we can help our clients with their money and with taxes rather than intentionally complicating this, society would be a better place. So
yeah, totally. The millions of
you're
accountants.
a special accountant, Shane.
Aw, thank you. It was not my idea though.
Cheers.
It was my cheers. That was my law professor in college said that to me when I was an idealistic man, and I've carried that with me ever since. I'm dead inside now. In a push to tax the rich, White House spotlights billionaires' tax rates. This is an article from the Times again, and it's, Biden's trying to push to raise taxes on the rich, and he went to his White House staff, and they put together a study, kind of controversial.
Yeah,
kind of an interesting way.
This is a must-read study. I feel like every taxpayer needs to read this study to get fired up.
Yeah, so we can't get to a wealth tax here in this country, which is the only way to redistribute assets around the country, which in America we generally think is a good thing. Churning the assets from the rich down to the poor generally creates opportunities and prevents dynasties here. And one of the ways that this study analyzed the tax rates of the billionaires is that instead of making assets, they essentially added the growth in stock values to the income of billionaires. So imagine you have something worth $100 and next year it's worth $200. You don't sell it, but you've made $100 according to this study. And then the tax that you pay compared to your income is how they analyze this study. And it got us to an effective tax rate of about, I think, 8% on billionaires, which everyone listening to this podcast probably pays a lot more than 8%.
Probably 3 to 4 times that.
Yeah, probably 5. Yeah, 5 to 6 times that. Yeah. So that's a bummer. It's a very interesting way to think about. It's essentially like a mixture between income and a wealth tax. It's a compromise somewhere in there. I don't see that policy getting implemented at all. The growth and the value of your stocks is too hard to keep track of all that stuff. But
one positive,
maybe not.
One positive thing I have to say about all this
maybe
tax
if
reform.
3 million accountants change their. Sorry,
Yeah.
I cut you off.
It's all good.
Redirected therefore.
No, I think one of the positive things to come out of all this exposure to like how do billionaires stay rich, right? I think it's actually it's inspirational and it's aspirational. Warren Buffett's this famous billionaire. He's a great investor. Warren Buffett inspired a whole generation to invest in low cost index funds. Like, what if we are all so pumped up by these like crazy strategies? We're so mad that it inspires 1 million people to revisit their 401ks. Like, that would be a fantastic outcome of all of this. And I will get off my soapbox and wrap up this episode.
Yeah, I feel like that might be comparing like our personal contributions to climate change to like ExxonMobil's. But yeah, I hear you there. No brainers of the week. We got 2 of them. Mine is very easy this week. I love blackout curtains. I'm a bit of a night owl. If you don't have blackout curtains and the sun pisses you off, do yourself a favor. Spend the $30. Get a little cold den for you to sleep in, my friend.
Oh my God, I love it. My no-brainer of the week is annotate your Zoom calls. So if you go up at the top of your screen and hit view options, there's a little button to annotate, and then you can draw on someone else's screen. I mostly draw penises, but occasionally I will highlight things for clients to, okay, click over here, or like, this is what I'm trying to show you. That's all we have for you this week. We were going to do a scam of the week, and I didn't have one, so my scam of the week is Shane. Shane
Just
is
in
the
general.
scam of the week.
Love it. Okay.
This has been the Liquidity Event. If you want to talk to us, you can email us at liquidityevent@brooklynfi.com. Leave us a voicemail. We'll play it on the air. That's pod, INBOX, podinbox.com/the liquidity event. Show notes are brooklynfi.com/episode 11. If you're weird and you love us, you can leave us a review in Apple Podcasts or Overcast or wherever your podcasts are sold. Thanks for being an awesome audience, guys and girls and gals and cows. We'll see you next week. And orcs. And orcs. And bears. And fat bears.
Or orc inclusive.
All right, bye.